All right, let's talk about quitting nicotine for good. We're going to break down a step-by-step plan that's actually backed by science. And look, if you've tried to quit before and it didn't stick, this is for you. We're going to show you a much smarter way to do it. Let's dive right in. So let's just get right to the heart of it, right? The big question that I'm sure is on your mind. Why is it so incredibly hard to quit nicotine? Why do most of us try and just end up feeling frustrated? Well, the answer, when you look at the actual research, is surprisingly simple. It turns out failing to quit has almost nothing to do with your willpower or your character. It's all about biology. Yeah, you heard that right. The real fight, the real struggle, it's all happening on a microscopic level, deep inside your brain. And honestly, once you understand what's going on in there, that's the key. That's how you finally succeed. Okay, so let's meet the main characters in this whole drama. They're called nicotinic receptors. Just picture them as these tiny little parking spots or docking stations all over your brain. And whenever you use nicotine, it pulls right into one of those spots and parks. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Your brain is smart. It adapts. To deal with all this nicotine traffic, it literally starts building more and more parking spots. And not just that, these new spots become extra sensitive, like they're just waiting for that nicotine to show up. So, okay, what happens when you decide, that's it, I'm quitting cold turkey? Bam! Suddenly you've got this whole giant empty parking lot in your brain, and all those super sensitive spots are just sitting there, vacant. Your brain is basically throwing a tantrum, screaming, where is the nicotine I'm used to? And that is what you feel. That biological panic is what we call withdrawal. You know the feeling, that irritability, the restlessness, those intense, overwhelming cravings. It's not in your head. It's a direct, physical result of those empty receptors going haywire. Look, trying to fight that powerful biological urge with sheer willpower is, well, it's a losing battle for most people. The answer isn't to use brute force. It's to be smarter. It's a strategy called controlled recalibration. The whole idea is to work with your brain's chemistry, not declare war on it. So here's the difference in a nutshell. Quitting cold turkey just shocks your system. It's a massive jolt that, let's be honest, usually ends in relapse. But structured tapering, that gives your brain the time it needs to slowly and gently get rid of those extra parking spots to recalibrate back to normal without all the chaos. And listen, this isn't just some nice idea. We've got solid science to back this up. Major heavy-hitting reviews, like the Cochrane Review, which is a really big deal in medicine, they found that using an e-cigarette in a structured way is actually way more effective for quitting than the old-school stuff like patches or gum. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do I actually do this? Well, that's the great part. This framework gives you a clear 12-week roadmap. There's no guesswork. You just follow the plan step by step. All right, here's a bird's eye view of the whole 12 weeks. We start with getting off cigarettes completely and just stabilizing. Then, and this is key, we work on the behaviors first, not the nicotine. Then we start to slowly step down the strength. After that, we start to limit the times of day you use it and keep tapering down, all the way to 0. See how each step builds on the last? It's all designed to prepare your brain for what's coming next. So the journey starts with phase 0. And this is probably the most important step of all. Your one and only job here is to stop smoking cigarettes completely. You switch over to a vape and you find a strength that just handles the cravings. That's it. The goal is to get stable. Please do not try to lower your nicotine intake yet. That comes later. So why are we waiting? Why not just cut the nicotine right away? Because of this sneaky little trap called compensatory puffing. If you drop the nicotine level too early, your brain is going to freak out and you'll just start puffing more, taking bigger drags more often to get the same hit. And that totally defeats the whole purpose, right? That's why the real first move is to attack the habits, the behaviors. You keep the nicotine strength exactly where it is for now, but you start changing your routines. Like maybe you decide no more vaping in the car, or you make yourself wait 30 minutes after you wake up. The whole point is to break those automatic muscle memory triggers. Okay, so once you've got those behaviors under control and things feel stable, now you're ready. Now we make the first move on the nicotine itself. You can see some examples here. You're going to drop the strength by about 20 to 25%. And this is super important. You have to stay at that new lower level for at least 2 weeks. No rushing. You've got to give your brain time to adjust. From here on out, we kind of go back and forth. We'll alternate between changing behaviors and lowering the nicotine.
So you'll start setting time windows, like maybe you only vape before 9 a.m. and after 5 p.m. This really helps break that all day long habit. And as you get down to the really low strengths, you keep tapering. You might even switch from nic salts to what's called free base liquid. It hits a little differently, and that can actually help make the habit feel less rewarding, which is what we want.
And this whole logical process, step by step by step, it all leads to this one final goal: 0. 0 milligrams. But wait, we're not done just yet. We don't just stop cold at 0. There's one final, crucial phase. For 1 week, you use a liquid with absolutely 0 nicotine in it. Why? This is brilliant. It lets you finally untangle the physical habit, the hand-to-mouth motion, from the chemical drug itself. It makes it so much easier psychologically to finally just put the device down for good. So let's step back for a second. Why does this whole thing work so much better than just gritting your teeth and going cold turkey? Well, it all comes right back to where we started: respecting your brain's biology. It works because it's built on these 4 key ideas. 1, it respects your brain chemistry and gives those receptors time to chill out. 2, it helps you sidestep that nasty compensatory puffing trap. 3, it cleverly pulls apart the chemical addiction from the physical habit. And 4, it makes sure you're stable and ready before you ever take another step down. It's just smart. Okay, so what does this mean for you right now, today? The best thing about this whole framework is that there's a clear starting point for everyone, no matter where you're at. It's simple. If you're still smoking cigarettes, your first job, your only job, is to switch 100% to a vape and just get stable. Don't worry about anything else. If you're already vaping, your first job is different. You need to focus on reducing the behavior. Cut back on when and where you vape by just a little bit before you touch that nicotine level. So I guess the only question left is, after all this time, maybe years of fighting a battle against your own brain, are you ready to finally try something different? Are you ready to work with your biology instead of against it and get free from nicotine for good?